Yeah, look at that, we're live. Okay. That's getting weirder every time I do it, I gotta say. All right, let's tell people what we're doing. And now that I've gotten that perfectly thing, let's go to the computer so you can see what I am doing. I'm going to get YouTube up and find my channel. Okay. Sorry, I've got that off to the side on the actual laptop screen where you can't see it, so that's helpful. Put the live chat on there, and now I've grabbed the link. Let's go to Discord and let people know what's what. I want to delete yesterday's. And we'll do at live streams. Nope, at live streams. I'm live, and paste the link. And then we will copy all of this except the at, so that we can just post it. I haven't set up Blue Sky yet. Let's just do it that way. New post, paste and post. Oh good, the thumbnail did work. I'm not getting a preview of the thumbnail anymore, so that's fun. Let's go to Hey Cafe and paste and share, and we're done. This posted, excellent. Okay. So I just have a quasi plan today. I've got my pop to drink, and I have my water bottle filled to refill over the ice when I finish the pop. It's just a Diet Cola from the store. Oh, let's do, I even left it open so I wouldn't forget, and now I need to sneeze. Hang on. Okie dokie. Let's set up our video with the channel dashboard, which is over here. Let's go to content, and then to live, and then to today's. The thumbnail today is a picture I took of Wolfie last evening, and she was just looking so adorable. And I couldn't decide on what to talk about in today's stream, so, you know, when in doubt, cats. So there's a bunch of links now in the description, including one for my crochet speed test. Always looking for more data there, so check it out. All you have to do is time yourself making at least one granny square, and then with a separate time yourself weaving in the ends on what the square or squares you made. The only limit is that all of the squares you make have to be the same size, which is easy to do if you're only making one. Okay, we don't need that. Yeah, I was thinking about what to do today. And I want to put this back in my Taco Shack first. Taco Shack is just a game that it's a game that runs on Discord. It's very silly, but if you want to play, I do have the Taco Shack bot on my server, and I've got a couple of spots where you can play. There's only one other player but me playing in my Discord channel right now, so we haven't needed the extras. I can keep making extra places to play. It's hard to play it when someone else is playing it at the same time in the same thread, that's all. Anyway, I forget everything, like everything's just left my head. Let me just see if I made any notes. Doing a little search here of my notes. This is not a very interesting wallpaper. I do actually have a wallpaper of some alpacas. It's on the laptop screen, but I almost never see this specific background, except for now, so maybe I need one. Oh, you know what it should be? The latest like pattern release. How do I do that on here? Let's see, desktop preferences maybe? Wallpaper. I'm gonna do this over here just in case. Yeah, in testing, not on Lovecrafts yet. Baby 34. Let's see what happens if I do that. Nope, that's not gonna do it. Whoa, that's not good. What do I want? Fill the background with color? No. Stretch to fill the entire monitor area. I think we want to avoid anything with stretch. Center and scaled. No. Tile? No. No. Let's just try all of them. Ah. Stretch to fit the monitor area. I think that's what we want. What happened over here while I did that? No, it's still the llamas. Okay. Oh, I looked in the wrong spot. Do I like the black around the back? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Should I keep the black around the back? I think I like it. I don't usually like a black background, but again, I don't see this view of the computer screen very often, and I'm not actually trying to read anything off of it. That's the problem I have. Reading white text on a black background makes my eyes go all funny. Okay. So I think what I'm going to start with, and if you've just joined us, say hi in the chat. Let me know what you're working on. Let's go top down for a sec. See, my laptop has migrated over. I wanted to show you my progress on my loom knitting, or not my loom knitting, my rug hooking. I need to see what I'm doing, and I can do that if I just bring you up on the screen. Nope, there you are. Okay. So when I was in Nova Scotia, I learned a lot about the craft of rug hooking using burlap and this little hook. And I didn't get any of the kits. I got the hook, but I didn't get any of the kits because they all had wool that they were using to make the things. And I'm allergic to wool. I would be touching it too much. So I just sort of drew out, I got myself some burlap from Michael's. I feel like there's a cheaper place to get it. I'm going to try like Fabricland or something. And I just drew out some guidelines. I was just trying to do these boxes and I haven't gotten very far. I am just using the Bernat Premium, and I don't think it's the right yarn for what I'm doing. It might be too thick. I think I need more of a sport weight, because it's pretty hard to get it in this tiny little hook. Also, I think this burlap might be too widely spaced. I don't know if you can see that. I feel like the holes might be too big. I'm probably really loud now. I feel like the holes might be too big. And I don't know. It might just be that I stretched it too much when I put it on the the hoop. But this is how far I've gotten. So far, let's see the back. Now, when we were in Nova Scotia, I saw projects in like works in progress where they were using like strips of fabric, and they were pretty wide. I'd say maybe half a centimeter that they were pulling through, and I'm pretty sure it was still burlap they were using. So it's possible the problem I'm having isn't the thickness of the yarn. I don't know. I'm gonna experiment some more and see. It was also a stark reminder that I need new glasses because I was having a hard time. Like, I'm incredibly nearsighted, right? So my lenses are basically magnifying glasses. And I was having a hard time really seeing what I was doing. So I was holding it very close to my face and looking under my glasses because my vision's really good, really close to my face without my glasses. I really need new glasses though. I don't know. I've got some kind of mental block about it. I need to, I don't know, work through it, I guess. So that's the update on the rug hooking. If anyone's done this craft before, feel free to give me some tips in the chat, or if you're watching this later, in the comments. I need to look for some videos on how to do it. I think that would be helpful as well. Anyway, I did not get any videos filmed yesterday like I was hoping to, because my back just was not up for it. And I'm just going to plug my phone in here so we don't completely lose power during the stream. Yeah, and then I thought, well, I woke up pretty early this morning, so I thought I would get maybe get some of it done before the live stream, because it's the same setup. I think I have the camera up higher usually. When I'm crocheting, I usually have the camera up higher, just because I think my speed makes the close-up too hard to watch, which fair enough. But I was thinking, it's like I got time. I woke up at 5 this morning. Ved heads off to work before 6. So I thought, oh, I've got this time between like 6-ish and 9-ish, right? That's 3 hours. Well, I ran into some problems because, well, and it was all Wolfie's fault, so it's probably good that she is the thumbnail today. Let me give you something better to look at while I talk. She had some blood work done, or she had some lab work done recently, and she does not have a kidney problem, but her levels are high in the normal range, and they're higher than they were before. So we have discussed putting her on an early renal diet. So I got some cans of it. I was warned cats really don't like this food, so you know, it can be hard to get them to basically eat their medicine. Wolfie loves the food. Loves it, loves it, loves it. She clears her bowl every single time. Although, since she started getting it for every meal of wet food, it takes her longer to clean the bowl out, but she does always clean the bowl out. She just eats some and then comes back and eats some more and comes back and eats some more, right? So this morning I had run out of the special food. So I gave her some, you know, the normal food from the grocery store. I think she licked it twice. And then she meowed at me, and she's clearly mad about it, right? It's like, okay, yes, I know. I will get you some more, but the vet doesn't open till 8:30, right? Woke up at 5, remember? So the only word she knows, like she understands what I mean by that fit was almost, but apparently I've learned this morning, almost lasts for 20 minutes. Almost means yes, but in the next 20, but not, yes, but not right now, but in the next 20 minutes. Because every 20 minutes or so, she'd come up and yell at me. It's like, where's my food? And yeah, so actually I went over and I feel a little bad because I got there early, like before they opened, but I saw people going in, so I just went in. And oh no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm sure it's fine. I have backups. Was I saying? Yeah, so I went in because I saw people going in and the door was unlocked, so I just went in and it turns out no, they weren't quite open yet, but it was fine. Like they didn't kick me out or anything. I asked, it's like, well, I can just go grab some food. She's like, yeah, I just have to start up the system. It's like, it's fine. I'm not in any rush. And so I got 4 cans and I've ordered a flat of them so that we don't run out in the future. Anyway, I'm just making up a spreadsheet here for the Jacob's Ladders course. That's what I'm doing on the screen. Yeah, so this morning I basically walked over to the vet, got her 4 cans, ordered some more. Actually, the dry food came in also. They had sent a text to Ved instead of me, and he didn't get it because, well, he doesn't check his messages. So I'm sure he got it. He just didn't see that he got it, and so didn't tell me. Okay. So I'm gonna make this bigger. Let's do a test type. Well, of course it's under the, let's do a couple of tests. All right, yeah, I can see that. When I typed test into the cell A1, it was under the controls for the live stream. It's like, oh, that's not helpful. Oh, I didn't look at it on the TV that I've got it on now. Let's just wait for that to catch up. I think that's okay. Okay, and when I was saving that, I couldn't help but notice that I had a spreadsheet from last time. So I'm going to pull that up as well. Current, writing in progress, I think. Yep, Jacob's Ladder course, brainstorming. Let's open that up. Okay. So, I feel like I have better notes for this somewhere. Maybe over here. Yep. Okay. Trying to make this. What is happening? Can I? Is it this? What even is that? Who's to say? Now what have I done? There we go. Okay, let's. This can be bigger. I'm going to make this bigger so that we can all see it. What are we at? 200%? I'll do 200%. All right. I need to change the speed on my mouse for when I do that, but okay. So I had the idea that we have the first column was going to be the basically the global, it's finished column, so it doesn't need to be that big. For now, I'll just call this done. Apparently it does need to be that big. Okay. And then we need the technique. And that's going to be the name, which I'm going to just grab from over here. And then I was going to do columns for research, teachable, picture tutorial, and video tutorial. These are all going to be check marks. Let's do this. There we go. Now it's all on the screen. I like that. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze rows and columns. That didn't do it. I think I need to go to view, freeze cells, freeze first row. Okay. Yeah. I think we'll do that. That's good enough for now. Now, how do I do? I'm not sure that on the live stream is the time to learn how to do this. I'm pretty sure I can do the formatting after. But I would like these to be yes or no's. Well, maybe that's a format thing. Let's see. I'm using LibreOffice Calc right now. I want, what do I want? Cells, maybe? No. Yes. Boolean value, I think. I think that's what I want. Doesn't seem to have done anything. Oh, it's under numbers, so what if I do 1 and 0? No. This might not be the right thing to do on the stream. I don't know. Data, maybe? No. Just realized I don't have chat up where I can see it. Somebody might be yelling, "This is how you do it." Okay, let's try this some more. So format. It's got to be in here, I gotta say. Alignment, borders, background, cell protection, numbers, font effects. possible what I'm trying to do doesn't work in LibreOffice Calc. I might be thinking of something that you can do in Google Sheets. Okay, so I'm going to move on then. I need to freeze this one so I don't lose. Freeze cells, freeze first column. There we go. Okay. And since I haven't resorted this, actually, I think I can just oops. I'm going to just copy this and then we can do find and replace. Except they're in a different order. Dang it. Okay. Have a video. Have a picture tutorial. And research would be to figure out what happened there. Oh, I see what happened there. I'll copy and paste that. And then we have doable. Doable. Let's go back. Apparently I'm better at copying from the top without losing my spot. I think that's roughly what I was thinking. Okay. I feel like we don't need that anymore. I don't know what it thinks it's saving, but sure. Let's make this big again. Okay. Oh no. Okay, I think I can just move all of this up. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to highlight all of this. And I'm going to do find and replace, which I'm not sure. Is that under edit? Find and replace. I'm going to find any lowercase y's and replace them with 1. Nothing seems to have happened. I must have done it wrong. Okay, let's try again. Edit, find and replace. Y's, replace it with 1. I see, replace all. That's what I needed to do. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to add some more in because these are all clearly teachable because I've done them already. Yeah. Seamless join, I have done. Horizontal is teachable, yes. Joining with vertical, joining with horizontal. I'm disagreeing with my past self on those. I'm going to take that maybe out. Single crochet version is definitely teachable. Brace, laddering up single crochet, teachable. Bracing single crochets, teachable. 45 degrees, pretty sure we did that the other day. That is teachable. Horizontal single crochet, I don't think so yet. Seamless join. And a row. Because this is, the other one was trying to figure out where my knowledge level was at. This is more of a what have I gotten done. Joining with vertical single crochet, yeah, that is definitely teachable. I do know how to teach that now, so joining, no. No. Tunisian, we've started looking into that, but we're not there yet. Zigzag, non-horizontal crocheting, no. Stuffies, that's not teachable yet. Turning corners, no. Overlace, yes, I can do that. Over motifs, yes. Letters, don't know yet. Solid color, yes. Single crochet, what does my note there say? Single crochet, horizontal ladders in the round. I can't teach that yet. Okay. Okay. So when I figure out how to turn these into check boxes, I think having ones and zeros will make it easier to convert it. All right, so 1 means yes or true, 0 means no or false. Okay. Let's save, because this is not Google Sheets that saves automatically. What do I want to do with this? Because I have notes. Can I link to a file? Can I do that? I feel like I should be able to do that. I can add comments. I've done that in LibreOffice before, and I'm not super thrilled with what it looks like. Paste actual selection. Insert. Nope. No. So don't forget, you can say hi in the chat. Let me know what you're working on today. I'm trying to learn how to do stuff with LibreOffice related to the Jacob's Ladders course. Add an image. I don't think that's, oh, text box and shape. Maybe. Hyperlink. I think this is what I want. I can put an internet link. I can put a document. This is where you create a hyperlink to an existing document or target within a document. Neat. Okay. Let's make some documents. Okay. Just gonna put that over to the side and open up a document. Office and writer. Over here, please. Let's make it big so people can see. Sure. Okay. So let's call this what should we call this? Basic vertical? Because that's the first technique on this list. I want to set up a document with one of the things that I've done already just to see what all I put in it. Basic vertical. Okay. So, wow, let's see. Let's do the picture tutorial. I feel like I would have the research notes first and then the picture and video tutorials, but I don't have any research notes because I figured this out, I don't know, 14 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe? Probably longer than that. And I'm not, I didn't invent this technique, so there's nothing much that needs to go in here except for that. So let me go to my Ravelry group and look at my tutorial map and wish list. We have the Jacob's Ladder Basic. Can I just copy and paste this? First, let's decide if this is an appropriate, what do we think about the pictures? Do I need to redo this tutorial? I might. Pictures aren't that bad. They're pretty clear. People have been using them for a while. I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna copy all of that and see what happens if I paste it into here. Yeah, it's got links to the pictures on Flickr, but it doesn't include the pictures, which fair enough. I can fix that in a sec. Actually, let's make this a subtitle. I think that will help us later to have these. I'm going to put this as a subtitle to video tutorial. And I believe there's a link to it. Oh. Watch on YouTube, I guess. Wow, I don't like that link. Let's get a different link. No, I don't want to save. I want to share and start at 0. Copy. See what kind of link that gets us. That's very long. Let's go to channel content and get it from there. See what happens. It'll be like, why don't I have a go to the end button? There it is. Except I just saw it go by. Dang it. No, we're in the lives. I want videos. Now we're going from the back. Dang it. I clicked too fast. Was it here? How to do Jacob's ladders. Okay. Get shareable link. Let's see what that one looks like. I see. It's because I added in the start at 0. Is subtitle what I want? I don't think it is. I think I want like heading. That's what I want, heading 1. Let's make this a heading 1 as well. Because they're not subsets of each other, right? I feel like doing that. Let's add the navigator on. Yeah, now I've got, if it can use the navigator. I feel like it'll also make the, once this is a PTF, oh my gosh, PDF, words that make sense. Okay. So I have the link to the Flickr, like I've got the links to Flickr where I have these hosted online. Don't think I have them hosted on my computer anywhere, unless they're on my backup drive, which is currently not connected to the network right now. So that's a little annoying. Let's just save this. Okay, now that we have done that, where did it go? Can we, shoot, how did I do it? Dang it. Insert, I think it was under hyperlink. Yeah. We're going to add a document. Design work, current, writing in progress, Jacob's ladder course, basic vertical. Open. Apply. Okay, it's blue now. Control click to open the hyperlink. Control click. Oh, it's on my other screen. It opened it up. Cool, I learned something new. I love learning new things. What do we do? Is snaps still a thing? Snaps, everybody, snaps. I don't know. I learned it from Legally Blonde. How old is that movie? I don't know. Okay, let's do one that we don't have tutorials for. That's a good question. Are these on my computer? Excuse me while I go check my Flickr to see if my picture, did I even take pictures? No, I'm back into, hang on, let me refresh this page. Well, we can take pictures now, I guess, of my various swatches. Yeah, I thoughtfully didn't take any pictures. Okay. that back on Ravelry and then minimize it. All right, let's take some pictures of our swatches. I'm going to move your viewpoint here and hopefully don't make anybody seasick or whatever. Just put you up there as high as I can. I'm going to use my old phone to take the pictures. It's got a line through it, so you know it's hard to use, but it takes pictures just fine. And I see it has rebooted again. So I need to log in with my password, which I don't want to put on screen. And I've got the camera app open. Let's find the swatches. Okay. I'll start with this one. This was the 45-degree angle with the single crochets. And I'm going to ladder it up and to use that picture as well. I'm just taking every other one. I'll do the other on the other side. I'll do the missed ones. Back. I'm probably missing some because they're not all pushed back here, but hopefully not. Okay, so yeah, I can see how tight this is in my picture, so we'll make a note about that. I did chain 10. I'm not sure that's enough, but we have our notes in it. We have our pictures. I will go over to Flickr and make sure they're auto downloading. I'm not logged in to Flickr on this phone. I remember when this happened when we were in Nova Scotia, and it was a huge pain in the butt. It was so annoying. All right, we're just not going to add the pictures. I will transfer them manually. Like I'll plug them in to my computer and transfer them that way. Okay, so let's do let's finish taking the pictures. Okay, this swatch was for a variety of things. So we'll take the overall, you know, just so I don't have to fiddle with them. I'm gonna put, oh, auto rotate is on, okay. Right, and I'm gonna, I should take the back because that'll be relevant for the top part anyway. I'm gonna undo the ladders. Okay, I'm gonna sit down for this so I can actually see better what I'm taking a picture of. These are the loop starts. In case this is easier to see later, we'll take it on the dark blue side as well. Okay, so those are the loop starts. These were the bracing. Go between two braced ladders. On both sides. And then this was a ladder on one side, the solid color in the single crochet. Let's go between these. Okay. We also had, oh, I've got bits of burlap on my desk now. This was the ladder over a filet mesh. Oh, I finished it. That's why I can't rip it out. I am going to unpick that so that I can rip it out. Just have to undo the finished knot at the end. And back to the single crochets I did. These will not be the pictures in the final tutorials. These are pictures I'm taking for my own notes. Okay, I had a very curly horizontal. Was this the single crochet? Certainly looks like it. Who was here that day? Do you remember? Pretty sure this is the single crochet. I can pull it out. When I pull it out, I'll know for sure. It's so curly. This isn't a good technique to use to make a band like this, but I think it still would be good to use in like an overall design. If I do it at a diagonal, would that be annoying later? It might be annoying later. Good enough. Okay. Pull it out. Yeah. What did I do? Okay, I did foundation single crochets. And then I went back the other way probably. So I'm seeing a bunch of single crochets. Yeah. And then single, single. Oh, chain one. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, let's do it farther from the edge so that we can actually see. Okay, any other swatches want to come out and play? Are they on the bed? Don't see any. Okay, I will dive through my live stream videos just to see if there's any that I ripped out. Feel free to put in chat or leave in the comments later if I've actually missed some that I made during a live stream and then ripped out. Oh, see this one. Oh, this is the Tunisian. Oh yeah, I woke up the other day with the answer to this one. How do you make a chain space in Tunisian crochet? You yarn over. I knew that. I've done it before. The way you do it is you yarn over. And that gives you your chain one space. So for a longer one, you'd yarn over more often. and it's basically the same as my horizontal ladders where it's like just a really tall stitch. This is just, it'll just end up being a really tall stitch. That's how you do it. Why don't we, because I'm frustrated with myself about it, why don't we make that note next since I'm on it? So let's go back. Oops. Hang on, my stand bent the wrong way. There we go. Okay. Let's open another note. I'm not sure if this is a bad idea, making separate files for each of the things, but it makes sense in my head. And I feel like they can't be that big if they've only got one technique in them, unless it's got a lot of pictures. So what did I call it in here? Just Tunisian. Okay, so we can call it anything. We'll just call it Tunisian. Okay, so we're gonna do heading one with the research. Use yarn over to create a long stitch to be the chain 10 equivalent. Okay, teachable. We're going to make that a heading one as well. And let's make a heading one for picture tutorial and one for video tutorial. Oh, and you know what I'm going to do next? I'm going to file, save as, and we're going to make this the template for this. Save. I'm just going to take this out. And now I have a template. Haha. All right. I should probably put a title in the template as well, just because if I have a bunch open, I don't want to have to look up at this tiny little font up here. What do I want? I want not heading one, I want title. And since this is the template, we'll just do that. Now I've got this big so that it's viewable on stream when I'm actually dealing with these. What do they look like? Let me go down to 100%. Blarg. Yeah, that's fine. Let's bump back up. Okay. So we have our templates. I'm going to go into the other two and add the titles in just manually. It's fine. Let's put the title of basic vertical, save, and then we'll go to the Tunisian. Keeps opening on my other screen, and we'll add a title of Tunisian. Feel free to say hi in the chat. Let me know what you're working on today. I'm going to, wait, where's Tunisian? I am going to insert a hyperlink. Keeps opening the dialog box on the wrong window of a document of Tunisian. Apply. Okay. And then control click to open hyperlink. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Sorry, I'm just thinking ahead to potential problems I might run into with this. When I sort this by, you know, what do I need to research next or whatever, when I need to sort this by something, of course everything's going to reorganize into whatever I've sorted it by. And I might change the names of these, but it shouldn't change the link, right? Let's try it. I'm just going to take the question mark off of Tunisia. And no, that didn't work at all. No. I see. So once I've linked them, I can't change the name without relinking, is what I'm getting from that. Well, let me try to take the... Yeah, now the link is missing, so, okay. So what I'm thinking, because there's probably a better way to do it, but for now, what I'm thinking, I'm going to relink this. Apply. I might add I might change the name of this from technique to what I'm calling it for now, like the temporary name or something. And I will add a column for what I officially end up naming it. I can do that later. This can just be the, for now, this is fine. Okay. I'm not sure how exciting this would be to look at, me just making all of the documents, but can I make this faster? I do that, and then I open up the templates. Where did it go? Oh, it's over here. Okay. Handily over on the other screen. It's the only thing I don't like about having multiple screens is that sometimes things open up on the wrong one. Or in wrong, I'm defining as not the one I'm looking at the time, which is usually the one you guys are looking at right now. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to File, Save As, Laddering up basic. Save as. Double crochet. Bracing. Double crochet 22. Can I put points in? I don't think I can. let's just say 22.5 degree. Maybe just 22 degrees, it's close enough. Degree. And this one is just the 45 degrees. And then we have crossing ladders. Split into two, I guess, and save as, join into one. Start. Pretty sure I could put spaces in these file names and it would be fine, but I'm just not used to doing that. Oh, that was dumb. I could have just, anyway. Floop start. I feel like those could probably be one, but horizontal. Seamless join. And a row. Hey, let's see that is. Joining motifs with vertical. Joining motifs with horizontal. Skipping, should I skip double star? I feel like I have a file for that already, so I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna skip it. It's my decisiveness that makes this all worthwhile. Okay, now we're into single crochet, basic, we'll call it. And then we'll save as laddering up. Just gonna scroll here. You know, while I'm doing this, I'm thinking if I knew more Python, I could probably write a script that would take this list and make this file with it. I bet that's a possibility. Keep meaning to do it. 22 degrees. Five degrees. So we'll have an idea for this. since these are all basically the same, so let's grab the join into one and then just change to an S. What are we doing next? Join into one, we got it. Okay, so the loops start. Not sure this is faster. Loop start. It's more clicking. I don't know how that affects the speed. Seamless join. And a row. Because I type pretty fast. I don't know. Save as. Joining with vertical. Save as. Join with horizontal. Problem is that the the file list is in alphabetical order and my spreadsheet list is not. And that's the last of its utility anyway. So crochet DC mix. As where am I in the list? Tunisian. Oh, we already have Tunisian, so we'll do double-ended hook. File save as non-horizontal crocheting. Save as stuffies. Turning corners in horizontal. Lace. Across motifs. Alphabet. Put an S on there because there's more than one alphabet. Sure, that's not what they're called, but I'll know what it means. We'll do SC solid color. Save as single crochet horizontal ladders in the round. Okay. I think I'm done my pop. So I'm gonna refill with water. There'll still be a little bit of caffeine still in there, so the water will help me drink it out. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Now we're going to get in our practice of linking it all up. Again, if I knew how to do Python, I could probably write up a little script that would do this for me. Okay, so how are we doing this? We're doing insert. Oh, it's Control K. Let's just do that. K's all the way over there. Okay, Control K. Can you please bring this over here? Path. What are we doing? Laddering up. That's the DC laddering up. Where are you? Oh, I didn't call it DC laddering up. No, I don't need to use Control K anymore. DC bracing. Okay, I don't have to keep hitting that. DC 22 degrees. Apply. 45 degrees. Up and apply. Crossing ladders. That would be DC crossing ladders. Open, apply. Split into 2. And apply. Turn into 1. It's this sort of thing, you know what? I could have write it, if I knew Python, I could write a script to do it. Or if I could afford to pay an apprentice, like a, what do you call it, an assistant. This would be a great thing to assign to an assistant, because this is not design work. Loop start. And loop start. Which, while I'm doing, I'm not sure if I can talk about something while I'm doing this, but I'm going to try. I was thinking about the use of AI and things the other day. I don't know if you heard about the controversy, in heavy air quotes, with Hank Green. He was accused of using AI to write his scripts. And it was not, the accusation was not based on what I don't believe it was based on a reasonable comment. End of row. Because, what's happening? And what am I doing? Horizontal, end of row, open, apply. Okay. Anyway, he said something like, thank you for pushing back on that with me, or something, words to that effect. And somebody thought that sounded like AI wrote it. And what is this? This is we're joining motifs with vertical. And I want to push back on that, because regular people use that terminology. The AIs learned how to talk from us. There are phrases that could suggest that something was written with AI. There's absolutely things people say that sound like AI wrote them. Absolutely. But I don't think that it's reasonable to say that that person is using AI in an unethical way. I don't have one for this. Cancel. I think it's unreasonable to assume that somebody's using AI in an unethical way just because they've used a sentence that AI uses, right? Just because of how AI has been trained. It could be a piece of evidence, though. Now, my understanding is, and I haven't looked today, this is my understanding as of Monday this week, that Hank Green has responded to the accusation and He looked through his script for the episode and at least could confirm to himself that that was something that he had just said. He ad-libbed, for lack of a better word. It was not in his script. But he did talk about how he does use AI in his work. Now, if you're not familiar with Hank Green, he founded Complexly with his brother John Green. They're both authors now, but a lot of people know John Green specifically as an author, and a lot of people know Hank Green specifically from his work on SciShow, which is a great YouTube channel. If you're a science nerd like I am, I highly recommend you check out SciShow. People who were upset that he was using the AI started losing faith in what SciShow was saying about any particular topic, right? But I think that's a fundamental misunderstanding of how SciShow works. The way, like, it might have started with Hank being a science communicator and telling you what, explaining science to you. But for the last several years, it has been more about, basically how I understand it works is that anyone really can write a SciShow script. And then they submit it to Complexly, who then fact checks it and just decides if they like the script. They fact check it, but they also look at it to see if that's the way they want to explain it and all of this. It goes through a heavy review process, and then the script, once it's finally through and edited and fact checked and everything, it's given to a host to read it. The host is not always the person who wrote it. Sorry, I'm trying to find this one split into two. The host is not necessarily, wait, I lost it. Horizontal, split into two, open. Have I been in cancel? Maybe. The host that reads it isn't necessarily the one who wrote it, although I assume if a host wrote a script that they would then read it if it was approved, but it never splits. It never, I'm reading and talking at the same time, it never skips that review process because it's too big of a channel not to do it that way, right? They've got a whole group of people. That's what all the Patreon support and everything is going to. So even if someone wrote the script using ChatGPT or something, it still goes through this review process. Now, it's all humans involved, except for the part that's written by ChatGPT. There's humans involved in the fact checking. There's humans involved in the editing of the, what wording is going to be used. There's humans involved in the whole thing. Mistakes are going to be made, and I think it's unreasonable to expect otherwise. And I don't think that, at least in the case of SciShow or Crash Course or the other Complexly things, I don't think you need to worry that some AI hallucinations are going to sneak in. They might, but it's going to be seamless is what I'm looking for. It's going to be at the same rate as they'd make any other mistake, which they have so many eyes on it is rare, right? And SciShow is notable for making follow-up videos if science can explain it better now, or if they got something wrong. They do that. That's how you know you can trust them, not what their process is in writing it. Now, so Hank Green, you don't need to stop believing what he says if he's hosting a SciShow video, I guess is what I'm trying to say. He has said, however, that he thinks that he is using AI too much and relying on it for things that he doesn't think is good to rely on it, and he's working to not do that anymore. I read that as kind of his response to the controversy was saying, well, no, I didn't use AI to say that sentence, right? But this has reminded me, this is like, I feel like I am using AI too much and I'm going to work on that, right? So the two are connected in that they're both related to AI, but one doesn't lead to the other. And I think a lot of people are missing that. So I've been horizontal and a row. There's been a lot of talk about that in our house because we have definite opinions on AI. And this is the vertical. And I've been struggling on how to explain it, my position on it, to others. And I think the main problem is that I don't think that people are thinking about AI with enough nuance. And I'm going to make an analogy here with genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, and Monsanto. This is another topic that is lacking in nuance in arguments about it over online. GMOs are not evil. They're not. Humans have been genetically modifying organisms probably since the dawn of time, since the dawn of humanity anyway. All that's changed is how we're doing it. Joining horizontal motifs. Joining with horizontals. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, all of that's changed is how we do it. And how we do it now is definitely 100%. I have no doubts at all. It's safer than what we were doing before. Because what we were doing before was, first we were guessing, right? It's like, what happens if we splice these two things together? What do we get? It was a lot of guessing and trial and error. And then we discovered radiation and how it will mutate things, mutate cells. And so we started blasting everything with radiation to see what happens. And basically what happened is the organisms would mutate at a higher rate, and then we'd check to see what the mutations did and then use the ones that worked and stuff. Now, since we've figured out the genome sequencing stuff, whatever, we can actually just look at what's happening. Do we understand everything we're looking at? No. But we are learning more every day. They know tons now. I can't remember what I called this one. I think it was non-horizontal crocheting. We know so much more, and as we have been learning more, we have been adding more regulations on what you can do with what you've learned, right? So before, we were guessing or shooting radiation at it to cause more mutations and then applying those because we figured that'll probably work. And now we're basing the changes we're making on something, which is a difference. And also, we can't just introduce these new changes willy-nilly. Like, we got laws now. And again, human beings are involved, so things will get missed in all of this, but it is so much more safe than it used to be. Now, does that mean that companies like Monsanto are good? No. I can't remember what I called this one either. Something across motifs is the first one. I didn't see it because it was highlighted. I know what I called this one though. Yeah, no, companies like Monsanto and the things that they're doing as far as lawsuits and all of that, no, I would agree that they are evil. But they're not evil because they're working with GMOs. You see the nuance there? I hope so. Comment in the chat, or if you're watching later in the comments, how you disagree with me on this. But I would agree that Monsanto is I would go as far as say that they're evil. That's an opinion, if any lawyers are out there. I think that anyone who puts profit over the lives of others is evil. So that's my definition of evil. If you put your comfort over the survival of others, that sort of thing. So I think a lot of that, it's not a perfect analogy, and I'll tell you why in a sec. But as far as the analogy holds, hang on, this is the last one, single crochet horizontal in the round and apply. So as long as as far as the analogy works, it's a case of the companies who are working on AI, like OpenAI, or I think Meta is, and Google is, and in Canada we've got Augur, or Augur, probably Augur AI. It's probably French. Anyway, as far as, I'm going to switch to crocheting something while I talk about this. So as far as it goes, if a company is putting their convenience over the lives of other human beings, I think they're evil for that reason. I don't think that AI is on its own evil. I think there are a lot of unethical practices happening with AI. I gotta grab my yarn. And yeah, there's a lot of unethical practices going on. I can't get behind those. The people doing them should be ashamed of themselves. Where's my hook? It should be here somewhere. That's the one that's too big. Where's my stuff? I pushed everything to the side today so that I could actually clean with soap, and now I don't know where anything is. It might be in here. So, yeah, there they are. Like, there's a real problem with AI data centers, with their water use and their power use, and you know, the noise pollution and all of that stuff. It's a major problem. However, that's a problem that's not going away. Right? Whether regular people like you and I use AI or not, they're still going to be doing these things. We need to stop them from running roughshod over our resources of water and power and land use and all that. We absolutely have to stand up so that they don't just do whatever they want. It's the problem with basically new companies, is that we don't have the regulations for them. Absolutely write to your representatives about how you feel on the subject. But someone like you or I using, say, ChatGPT is not actually contributing to the problem. We are, and I'm the last person to say this, that a single person can't make a difference. In this case, a single person isn't, because it's companies that are, it's the, like, big, large companies using AI, like having all of their employees use it, that's where the problem is. And for me personally, I don't like calling it AI because it's not artificial intelligence. It's a large language model, which basically if you don't know what a large language model is, I'm not the right person to explain it to you. But the way I think about it is that the answers you get from the AI are they're looking at what you've typed in, like maybe you asked it a question or something, right? It's going through its entire database, it's figuring out what topic we're talking about, and then it's giving you a plausible sentence with the most likely thing, like it's figuring out what the most likely next word is. Although as they get more advanced, it's the most likely next phrase that makes sense, and the most likely next sentence, that sort of thing as it gets better. And that's why it hallucinates, because sometimes if it doesn't know that it doesn't know, it's giving you the most likely correct next word to say. So if it doesn't know that it doesn't know, so it just says whatever would make sense. And that's why what I mean by saying it's not artificial intelligence, because it's not intelligent. It doesn't know what it's saying. Not really. Because it's computer-based, it can keep track of so much stuff. And it sounds like it knows what it's talking about. But it doesn't. It doesn't actually know what it's talking about. Not the way you and I would think of it. It knows, it can, I'm not explaining it very well, but anyway, it's not intelligence. But boy, does it sound like it is. I'm worried that we're going to actually start developing real AI, and now we won't have a word for it because, this has happened before. So the study of the stars, right? We have astronomers and stuff. They should be called astrologers, but that name was taken by the horoscope people. Because we had horoscopes before we had astronomy, right? We thought our lives were guided by what star Mercury seemed to be next to in the sky. But before we had, that's a planet and that's a star, and they're not actually close to each other at all. They just look like they are. So I worry that the same thing is going to happen to AI. When we actually get AI, we'll have used the right term up already with something that's not the same at all. Now, I don't think that everyone should use AI. I live in a country where they're trying to make it so that everyone has access, and I'm not sure that's a great idea, because AI is a tool that you really need to know what it is before you use it. So if you think it's actually an artificial intelligence you're talking to, that could be quite dangerous for you, right? Now, I don't use AI in my pattern business. And I consider this YouTube channel to be part of my pattern business, although there are, I think one of them is available to the public, a song that I generated using an AI music thing. I don't use that anymore. It was a fun little toy to play with, but I don't know. I felt like I'm a retired musician, and if I wasn't so rusty on the music stuff, I might be able to do more with it than I could at the time. So I just sort of gave up on it it was a cute little toy to play with, but whatever. But as far as like my crochet business, I don't use it. And the reason why is multifaceted, but one, the current AIs are crap at it. They're bad at it. And there's a real problem in the crochet pattern writing business with people who are using AI just to make money. Now, in that case, the problem's not the AI, it's the scammer who's using the AI. So again, the problem there is the humans, not the technology. Although the technology is bad as far as its impact on the environment. No disagreements there. But in that case, the problem isn't the AI. AI slop is made by humans, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But the reason I don't use AI in my crochet pattern writing business isn't just that it's bad at it, because you got to imagine that someday it will be able to do it. The main reason is that's the part of this job that I really love the most, right? It's like I'm not going to outsource the part of this job that I actually like doing to a machine or to even another person. I'm not going to do that. That's insane. Why would I? The only reason I'm doing this at all is because I like writing patterns. I like coming up with new ideas and explaining them so that other people can do them. It would be, I don't know. You should probably commit me to a psychiatric ward if I ever started doing that, because I've clearly lost my mind. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. So I am never going to use an AI or outsource to another person even. The pattern writing and like the pattern designing or the pattern writing part of this job. Like, I don't know. So, but I feel like I should be clear, and I'm worried about being clear, that I do use AI, just not for anything that's customer facing. The closest you will come to me using AI to interact with anyone watching this video or who's consuming my patterns is sometimes I need to write a message to somebody, and I struggle with expressing myself clearly and doing it in a way that people understand what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know, you know how you have that weird social thing where, like, I don't know, maybe some family is coming to stay with you and they're driving a really long way, and so you're not sure if they're going to eat along the way or if they're going to want to eat when they arrive. How do you send them a message asking them about that without them assuming something incorrect about your intentions? Like, to say, oh, hey, are you guys planning to eat on the way, or do you want to eat when you get here? They might have planned to eat when they got to your house, but now they're thinking, oh, they're saying that maybe I should eat on the way so that it's not a burden to them, right? That kind of communication I struggle with. So, for example, I had a yarn. I bought some yarn for a project and it had so many knots in it. I was pretty enraged about it by the end. But I knew that the person I complained to wouldn't be the person who's at fault. So I used an AI. I told it the points that I wanted to cover and the tone that I wanted to achieve. Like, I wanted to be perfectly polite, but leave no question how angry I was. And so the AI gave me an example text. It's like, oh, say this. I did not then copy and paste that into an email and send it off. I read it and thought, that's a good word to use. That's the accurate word. That's what I'm thinking. And then I wrote my own, right? Like, I took some words, I took some phrases, and then I wrote it myself, and then I left it for a bit, and then I read it, and then I made some tweaks and that sort of thing. I have never just copy and pasted what the AI said to say, because that would be nuts too. There's concern with kids using AI, and we're right to be concerned. As I said at the beginning, partway through, not everyone should be using AI. You should only use it if you understand what it is. And so the point of school for kids, for any kids are watching, if you're wondering what the point is of learning whatever random thing you're learning today that you don't think you'll ever use in your life, the point isn't to learn how to do that thing. The point is to learn how to do things. Right? School starts with like basic stuff that you need to just survive as a human. They teach you how to use scissors, you know, that sort of thing. They teach you how to add. You are always going to need to know how to do those things, right? That they teach you those things, but they also teach you other stuff. Part of the reason is so that you're exposed to a lot of different ideas and you can decide what you want to do with your life. And the other part is teaching you how to learn. This is what drives me insane about new math. It's like new math is not, hey, we have found a new way to add, now everyone has to do it this way. No, new math is we figured out a different way to get to the right answer, and we're going to teach it to everybody because not everybody understood the first way, right? This comes up a lot actually with me and my partner. I have noticed that we do math differently from each other. And we both get the right answer. So at some point in our lives, we were exposed to a way of doing math that got us to the right answer, because there's a lot of ways you can do it. And everyone's brain is different. So having a lot of different ways that you can do math is an asset. That's why they keep introducing new math. Is some smart math person has discovered that you can get to the answer or go in this way. So the problem with kids using AI, just like unsupervised and without any information, is that they might be skipping the learning process. That's what the problem is. It isn't that they, used a ChatGPT to write their essay about Macbeth. The problem is that they did not learn how to write an essay. So what I critically need or wish that people would understand is that there's always nuance, always. And I agree that there are a lot of problems with AI. I think it's also important to keep in mind that AI is coming. It's here, obviously, but it's not going away. It's going to get it. How do I put this? It's going to continue going. It's not going anywhere. We need to be alert to what these companies are doing, like in the real world, what their effect on our lives is, and hold them accountable so that they don't ruin the planet or whatever, right? Unfettered stuff, whatever. Unfettered. We can't leave them to their own devices because they will ruin everything. But yeah, I highly recommend, I guess in conclusion, I highly recommend that you look up, you learn what LLMs are, that's so ChatGPT and the rest, and what they're good for, and get some tips and tricks on how to get accurate answers out of them. Right? Like one thing that I've come across is if I want to make sure, because they're trained to be nice to you, right? So that they're trained to be nice to you, even if you don't deserve to be nice. even if you don't deserve to be treated nicely, right? They're designed to agree with you, right? They're kind of like improv agents. They're just saying yes and, right? Um, one thing that I have found works is, say, if you're asking it about, I don't know, is climate change real? Of course, whatever. Um, don't ask as if you're asking yourself. Ask as if someone else told you something was true, and ask it if it actually is. All right. It's like, a friend of mine said the other day that I don't know, the sky isn't real. What do you think of that? You'll get a different answer than if you said, hey, I think the sky isn't real. Or say, is the sky real? Because I don't think it is, right? You'll get a different answer than if you say, my brother was saying the other day that he doesn't believe in the sky. Is he on to something? Stuff like that. You can just ask, what's wrong about what you just told me or whatever. But I don't know. So, yeah, AI, not everyone should be using it. And unfortunately, everyone can easily use it. I don't want to gatekeep it. I just think that you should understand what you're doing before you use it. Like, if you're using a bandsaw, you'd want to make sure you knew what you were doing before you used it, right? You might lose a finger. I think I'm done that rant now. Gosh. I'm sorry. I get very passionate about these things, and I don't think that I express myself very clearly with them, which is kind of ironic given my job. And the part that I love about my job is, and what it is, it's just that, if I had to explain a crochet thing, then I'd be fine with it. But I don't know. Oh, but yeah, I was just thinking back to earlier when I said that I could probably write a Python script if I knew more Python that would do this work for me, or if I had an assistant, right? Well, in that case, the person who I might hire if I had the money, their job could be replaced by the Python script. The Python script's not AI. It's just a computer program. It's not an LLM. It's just, I made it myself a tool to do this boring repetitive work that I did. So if I was any good at writing Python, and I keep meaning to get that way, but I keep not getting that way, I could write a script that would replace a human's job. But is it replacing a human's job? Because I don't actually have an assistant. And also, is that a good job, doing that, repetitive, boring stuff? Could be argued either way. We got 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left. I'm going to end on another controversial point. I use self-checkout at the store. I was a cashier for years. I would say probably 20 years. And I use the self-checkout. I feel like it's the line for people who have their act together. Of course, I don't use act when I'm not not on YouTube. course, it's not always the line for people who have their act together, but that's a different thing. But the reason why I have no problem using self-checkout is because I don't think that, okay, first of all, I know this for a fact, the job of a cashier is more than just scanning barcodes. So it's not replacing the entire job of a cashier. Easiest to automate part. So if you got like, say, I don't know, 6 self-checkout machines, that's not replacing 6 cashiers. It just isn't. The cashiers do more than just scan barcodes and give you change. Is it replacing jobs? Yes, it is. I don't have a huge problem with that because as someone who has done that job, it's not a good job, right? It's not a fulfilling job. Now, I'll get the argument that, well, it's supposed to be entry level. You're not supposed to do it for 20 years. It's like, yeah, except for no, because stores are open all day and not just like, say, when kids are out of school. So yes, people do that job for their whole life. Some people like doing that job. I would still argue, and it needs doing, right? At least now, right now it needs doing. It's starting to not need doing. I would argue it's not a good job. The hours are bad, the pay is bad, and basically customers can yell at you for anything. Whether it's your fault or relevant or anything at all. Like it's not, I would argue, not a good job. And so that's why I use the self-checkout. Leave a comment below telling me why I'm wrong. Apparently we're just rage baiting today. Actually, don't do that. I don't think that's helpful. If you have some cogent arguments, I would love to hear them. Change my mind, that's fine. But I don't know. If you think about it, when you order something online, you're also not using a cashier, right? You've skipped everybody who works in the store and have just gone basically to the warehouse when you order online. Except for if you order online and then go and pick it up, that's done at the store level. But yeah, if you're ordering online for like delivery to your house, some stores are doing it in store with their in-store staff, but the vast majority you're just going right to the warehouse. And also, I wouldn't mind your input. We're going over, I don't care, I'm still talking. I wouldn't mind your input on the idea of actually talking about world events during the lives. I'm on the fence about it because, one, this isn't supposed to be a political channel. This is a crafting channel. This is where I teach you how to crochet and loom knit and stuff like that, right? That's the primary purpose of this. And then we hang out and get things done most days of the week, right? However, current events keep interfering in my life. And it's hard to talk about things like AI and job automation without getting into political opinions. Because I believe, well, I have a solution for this. Like, people are always like, well, what's the solution? I actually do have a solution for these issues. A proposed solution anyway. And, but that requires talking about politics. So On the one hand, it's good to get a break from the onslaught of the news. On the other hand, it's important that people talk about it. And so I'm on the fence. So let me know what you think. If you don't want it to be a public comment, you can reach out to me in various ways. Probably the easiest, just off the top of my head, is if you have a Ravelry account, then click on the link below and you can send me a message there. Or if you join the Discord, you'll be able to send me a message there, like a private message. I'd love some feedback anyway. Or think about it, and then the next time you catch a live, let me know in the chat or whatever you want to do, right? So, no. Okay, we're going to stop there today. I have a couple announcements. Tomorrow's stream it's Thursday tomorrow, so it'll be in the afternoon my time. So from 1 to 3 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. It is currently 11:03 Mountain Daylight Time, almost 11:04. Tomorrow I am expecting a phone call. So I feel like this phone call is going to happen after we're done the stream, but I don't actually know that, so we might get interrupted. Depending on how far we are into the stream, I might come back after the phone call. And I will announce that at the beginning. I might have had the phone call already by the time, like, it's supposed to happen sometime that day. It usually happens closer to 5, but who knows? Not me. And it's really important that I take that phone call. So tomorrow's a little bit up in the air as far as how the stream will go, but I still plan to do it. So I will see you tomorrow, or you will see my hands or something. And check out the description for links on, I don't know, how you can find me and get notifications and stuff. I'll see you all tomorrow, and thank you so much for watching.